Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. As many of you know, I am a huge adult fan of LEGO, and I love the minifigure, so when given a chance to visit some of my favorite toy photographers ever, people who I've been following on social for quite some time, displaying their work at the Brian Ono Gallery in Seattle, of course I leapt at the opportunity. I couldn't take my dog Wicket with me, though. Unfortunately, they don't let dogs in the gallery, buddy. We've gone over this. Okay, here's the interviews.
Shelley Corbett, it's my full name. I go by XXSJC, which is probably the world's worst handle because it's unspeakable, but thank God it's available on every platform, so it has its advantages. You can find me on Flickr, Instagram, and I think that's about it right now. Stuck in Plastic on Twitter, because we are, Vesa, Boris, and myself, the three people that we're going to talk about here today, are part of the Stuck in Plastic collective. I am a toy photographer. I am not an AFOL, I'm a toy photographer.
Wow. How do you make that distinction in between the two?
How do I make that distinction? I'm not a builder. I wish I was a builder. I'm not a collector. I'm surrounded by LEGO, and when I say surrounded, that is absolutely 100% in every aspect of my life. I trip on it, I walk on it, I breathe, eat, sleep around it. I pick it up. Before I vacuum, I have to carefully clean the floor so I do not vacuum up anything. So this is my salvation, and this is what I do to protect myself against being overwhelmed by the builders in my family.
Oh, so it's more than just you.
Yeah. My son builds, he's into Technics. My husband builds, but he's more of a builder for relaxation. My daughter is a builder, but she also works at the LEGO store, so I also call her my pimp.
Enabler?
Oh my gosh. She'll text me, hey mom, guess what's in? Look, or look what someone just returned, and I'm like, my credit card. Fine, bring it home.
What got you started in toy photography?
The LEGO collectible minifigures. That was definitely it. That combination of receiving those at Christmas, discovering Instagram, and then discovering the amazing toy photography community in Instagram, and I wanted to be a part of what they were doing because they are a lively, creative, fun, interesting, generous group of people I have ever met in my life. I have two different things that I do. If I'm going out on a photo safari or a day of shooting, I will pack boxes of minifigs. So then I'll just go out wherever my location is, and I will just think about, well, what makes sense here? What's the lighting? What's the situation? What are stories? I'll think about little stories to incorporate with little people. What are they going to do? How are they going to interact with this environment? So I have that, which is more freeform, and then I have another thing that I'm trying to do and working on is taking a story and illustrating it. Like this one here is actually from, I don't know if you've ever heard of Margaret Weiss Brown, but she wrote this book called Goodnight Moon, but she also wrote another book called Runaway Bunny, which I did for my kids for Christmas. I illustrated the entire book, Runaway Bunny, for my children, and that's what this one came from. I spent about 18 months working on Brick Central, which was all about creating community within the LEGO, with a LEGO community within the larger toy photography community. And then that got to the point where I just couldn't just keep featuring people over and over again and helping them to be better photographers by teaching them how to focus, how to use a basic editing app. I just couldn't do that anymore. And then Boris came along and said, hey Shelley, you want to help me with this Stuck in Plastic I want to do? I'm like, let's be an arts collective. And I'm like, all right, that's cool, I can do that. And the whole point was to take it off the screen and bring it back to the community, because I want more people beyond just the people who have discovered us randomly on Instagram to understand how incredible this worldwide community of toy photography is. So that is my mission, is to bring it to the masses. I'm super excited to be with these guys doing this, both Boris and Vesa, who have both been incredibly influential to me in the last 3 years of doing this, that I don't even think they know how influential they've been. It's fun to share, so I'm really excited about the opening and all the people who are going to come through the show in the next 5 weeks and be exposed to do it. And when Brian and I talked about where to place the show in the calendar, I really wanted it to be in a month that Comic-Con was going on, because I would really like those people who are coming to town that might be traveling from a different state to come in and have the experience of seeing this as well. So that's my hope.
It's a good hope.
Boris Varilar, living in Sweden. I come originally from Belgium. And me too, on Instagram, that's _me2_.
It's a pretty simple name.
Pretty simple.
Where'd you get it?
That's a long story, and it starts with my kids. I mean, one day they came with a small little Lego minifigure, and they said, "Look, Daddy, we created you," and so that became Me Too. And that was now roughly 4 years ago, and that's the start of the whole toy photography.
That's
adventure.
what pulled you in.
Yeah, well, that was the thing that was the turning point for me. I mean, that one figure that was there. I was in photography before, and I'm still in photography, telling stories. But yeah, it was my oldest coming up there saying, "Look, Daddy, I made you." And that became Me Too, and then Me Too started traveling the world and be part of all these adventures. And then Me Too went on. So yeah, it started with a little kid coming up. Since then, I mean, I think I'm the biggest Lego fan in the family. I took over my youngest's collection. My oldest is still a little bit into toys, but no, it's the toys are there, and they're screaming to be part of the story, and I love to tell a story to yeah, look for that childhood thing, bring a lot of elements together, like, you know, Darth Vader meeting Wonder Woman, meeting aliens. That's one of the beautiful things of toy photography, is that you can just blend all these elements, whether they're now trademarked or not, or whether they own from big corporations, Disney, or you can tell your own story. When I was a kid, I played with Legos a lot, like a lot of us, and I love to build, and I made the most crazy things, and I was out in my adventures world just for myself, in my Lego. And I lost my childhood Lego collection when I moved around the world, but then when I got kids and I bought Lego for them, it kind of all came back. And I think what is so beautiful about Lego is that you can build your own stories. It's not like a plastic figure that you would first with a scalpel have to dismantle, etc. You can just take all the pieces and make your own figures and your own stories and relive a little bit of your childhood. We kind of always knew we wanted to do this. We wanted to go beyond Instagram, beyond the likes you get on one image and then up it's gone. I mean, it's a very good soundboard, Instagram, and you have great friends there. But we knew we wanted to take our photography to the next stage. And I think it was just great to do it in Seattle. And then Brian offered up to come here, and yeah, now we're here. Instagram definitely made me a much better photographer, better storyteller, better, because you have that instant communication with your audience. I met Shelly on Instagram, and we were both into this strange thing of toy photography.
If you had anything to tell your community at this point, what would you like to tell them?
I have to say thank you to everyone in the community, because and we talked about this. This is as much their show as it is ours. I mean, it's taking this toy photography to the front stage, taking it out here in front of the camera, and yeah, share the story. And it's everyone's story, it's their story. And what is so beautiful about, I would say, Lego photography and toy photography is that we interconnect with each other. It's like stealing, like an artist. You post something, someone else takes the idea to the next level, then you take that idea back. So I think the whole community is in every single work here represented.
Vesa Lehtimäki, I'm from Helsinki, Finland, and I'm in Flickr, Twitter, Instagram, and whatnot. By the name of Avanaut. That's my name in the web. But only in Twitter I'm the Avanaut, because Avanaut was taken by someone in, I think it's somewhere in Bavaria, Germany.
What got you started with toy photography?
I was working on a book, a personal book. I was documenting the toys of our child, to capture them in photographs before they vanish, before they get thrown away. So with the photos, I was planning to just bind them into a book later on, just to give the book to the kid when he turns 18 or something.
Wow.
So he could look back at his own toys in his childhood, which he won't probably remember, but when he sees the images, he gets the feeling, the emotion from childhood. And when I got around to shooting the Star Wars action figures, something just clicked. I just started to experiment and push it further to see what can be done. I didn't know there was a toy photography community. I wasn't aware of it at all. So when I ran into Flickr, someone told me about it. There was a thing called Flickr, and I just upload a few, and I got some nice feedback. It was all good. But then I figured that that will be it. I'll just put some action figures there, and that was a nice experiment. And then I chose to shoot some Lego minifigs, and it sort of the traffic turned into something else. It just increased, and it just got out of hand. The feedback was so great, and I just kept going. And at one point, the first minifigure was a Star Wars Stormtrooper, and probably the second or third Lego photograph was a Stormtrooper. Oh no, it was a Snowtrooper in snow. Because I really wanted to, I noticed that there was I hadn't seen I hadn't seen falling snow in a miniature photograph, and I just wanted to see if I can do it. And I experimented a lot with different materials, and once I tried, the first ones were, I submerged the Lego figures in water, because I didn't know how to keep the snowflakes in the air around them. So I figured that if I put them in water and just drop something that floats down quietly, I would be able to capture that. And it worked fine. But when I got a lot of questions of how to do that. And once I posted the image of that small CD record acrylic container in which I shot them, then Gizmodo.com got that, and my views went up, and they probably never came down again. So that's how it started. This is not work. This is something that comes freely from within. And the one thing that I am afraid of is that I become aware of it. So that sort of, if I start thinking that what are people going to say, it just sort of muddles the process up. It's not flowing anymore.
I've been inspired and will continue to follow all three of them across social and start to do toy photography for myself. So you can follow me too, if you wanted to. I don't exactly know what scene I'm composing here, but I'm very happy to see that Wicked is cooperating. For now.